The bigger the market volumes get, the bigger the data sets get, the harder that data is to grapple with. We take that data from over 100 venues around the world today. We perform our sanity checks on that data and deliver it back to the industry before market open. Now that takes some doing. The greater the markets continue to grow, the more our value prop makes sense.
Why did BMLL add U.S. equity options data to your coverage?
We've recently onboarded 6 years of OPRA data at full nanosecond unconflated level. Now, big data doesn't frighten my team, but this was big. This is 5 petabytes of data out the gate, and that option market is growing at a rapid pace, and the data involved in that is enormous, and it's difficult for firms to grapple with that data. We make that easy. In the same way that we make large-scale data sets easy in equities and futures, we're doing the same again in equity options, and we're then taking that data and creating a series of different time-conflated feeds. Quarter second, 1 second, 5 second, whatever the customer likes. The other thing that we can do is we can create those conflated feeds to match the format of the chosen real-time source that the client is taking. So when they're using our environment for backtesting and researching and discovering alpha, they can replicate that in their production environment in the real-time world. And with that scale of data, it's a difficult thing to do.
What is BMLL doing with your $21 million funding round?
We were thrilled with that investment and Optiva coming in to lead that round. We had half of that round supported by our existing investors, NASDAQ, FactSet, IQ Capital, and some others, and then with Optiva taking the lead. When we brought on an industry name like Optiva, we wanted their brand to speak volumes about the quality of our products. Now, typically, sophisticated firms like Optiva didn't trust a market data supplier to do normalization properly. They would do it in-house. And actually, they said to us, you get normalization, 98% right, you might as well not bother. They think that the market's entering a new paradigm with someone like us. Rather than buy versus build, which it would have been with those type of firms, we're now buy to build. Rather than have their brilliant quants spend their time, 80% of their time, cleaning poor quality market data they've been taking from the industry for many years, they can have their quants adding value on top of that data and building out their various strategies. So of course, when a firm like Optiva takes a stake in someone like us, other similar type of firms around the world sit up and take note.
How can your client and product advisory board help to better serve industry needs?
We're really excited about the product advisory board. First of all, it was driven by our clients. Last year was a groundbreaking year for BMLL where we started to land some really serious buy-side clients. In this particular case, it was sovereign wealth funds and major buy-sides. Now, one of the things with the sovereign wealth funds is often not when they're spending public money, they need to put that to RFP, but we're the only firm doing what we do, so there's no point in running an RFP process with a group of one. But they did say, look, as an early stage company, we'd like to have a line of sight over your product roadmap so that we can see as we start to build our business on your data, we know what's coming next. So they asked us to get this off the ground. And then I asked them, well, is this only for the buy side, or would you welcome any of our other clients? And they said, no, actually any global systematic user of the data, so the sell side are equally as welcome, where they have a common interest in quality normalization, market standardization, so that they can get a set of data that is top quality, best in class, and then they can build out their strategies on it. So we're thrilled to get that off the ground.
How does BMLL help clients with geopolitical uncertainties?
As you get any kind of uncertainty in markets, volumes increase. And as volumes increase, the data gets more difficult to handle. We enable our clients, A, to get their hands on quality data that they can get it out of the gate without having to do all that engineering, scrubbing and munging. and they're able to follow trends across that data. I mean, we now have, certainly in the equity landscape, 10 years of curated, full depth level 3 data, which of course contains every trading intention that exists, not just every trade. So if you're looking at this data to try and ascertain those trends, you won't find a better data set than this.
How will you address the U.S. derivatives landscape?
In the same way that we grew our coverage in equities to cover 99% of global ADV, we've got more work to do on the futures landscape. We've got all of CME, ICE, Eurex. We've recently added Johannesburg Stock Exchange, Australia Stock Exchange when it comes to their derivative product. But clients are asking us, where's LME? Where's Hong Kong? Where's Singapore? Where's CBOE? Where's Euronext? So we are going to increase that across the world so that you can have all that data in one environment, in one harmonized format.